I think the study of religion, in some sense, couldn't be done successfully. I mean, in a sense, couldn't be done in any attempt to achieve answers without the study of ritual. And in fact, I probably would, in some sense, with a certain amount of bias, reverse the question of why is it important to study ritual when studying religious traditions. I might reverse it and say, we have to study ritual traditions in some sense to even understand what religion is and how religious ideas are embedded in a wider network of associations that are economic, that are political, that are social, that are familial, that have views of the universe or the cosmos. And across all of those, we'll see varying degrees of ritualized forms of behavior. So in some sense, one doesn't just do ritual in a religious context, one might do the similar things or the similar ideas when engaging in economic, trade, or engaging in politics. So in some sense, in order to understand religion broadly defined, it's almost an absolute that we have to understand what's going on ritually. Because without an understanding of ritual, we can't really understand lived behavior, what's really going on the ground, what's really going on in the lives of people. Because most people don't read the orthodox texts. Most people, in some sense, can only in a very basic way tell you what the doctrines are, what the ideologies are, what the mythological narratives or authoritative canonical scriptures say. I mean, in some sense, if we focus on religion through the lens of doctrine, through the lens of text, we really are only getting the perspective from a historical point of view of maybe the smallest percentage of people who could read, who were literate, who were educated. The flip side of that is the majority of people live their lives knowing how to do things, learning how to do things in the appropriate way, interacting with each other in the appropriate way, and much of that is ritual. Much of that is ritualized forms of behavior. So it's really the tension between what perhaps the orthodox tradition, what the intellectually often male patriarchal traditions say, and what's going on in that kind of hustle and bustle of the kind of daily lived reality of what people are doing and how they interact with each other. And to look at that, we really need to understand ritualized behavior and ritual practices. Because I'd say that's the bread and butter, that's the meat, that's the real substance of what people are doing in their daily lives. And the point again, to belabor it, is that most people probably couldn't tell you what's in, say, the Gospels, or what's in the Torah, or what's in the Quran. But they can perform those stories, they can enact those doctrines, they can participate in the recitation of those things, and they do it ritually. And then when they greet you at a very, in a very perhaps perfunctory way, through shaking your hand or saying peace be upon you, they're in some sense participating in a part of a lived expression of what the doctrine might be saying. So I think the short answer to the question is that a successful or a fruitful study of religion has to have a sophisticated study of ritual behavior, of ritual customs, of ritualization of ways of marking off what's in and what's out, what's better or what's worse. So I think that you have to study ritual to study religion.